Hello everyone, I'm Jake and I'm a composer and a filmmaker, and today I thought it'd be really cool to share with you the process of making a score. So I'd love to invite you all to make a score with me. This is going to be a rescore for an existing film, and so here we are. I'll show you where I've got to so far, because we're actually kind of jumping in a little bit into what I've already started. So I've gone along and marked 9 points, what I refer to as hit points. And so that's the significant moments in the film where something happens or something changes or the dynamic shift, something like that. So this film, I think, is like 3 and a bit minutes. The original film, it does have a score and everything, and some sound design. I wanted to take a different approach, so I'll show you a bit of the opening to the film, and you can see it how it was in its bare bones.
That concludes another spine-tingling episode of Cult Curiosities.
Thank you for joining us on this haunting journey through the world of cults and their secrets.
Stay vigilant, listeners. The line between belief and obsession is often a treacherous one.
And remember, sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that hide in plain sight.
Now, I think a lot of the reason why the score was done the way it was originally, which is like zero music to begin with, and it's all just atmosphere, is because I don't know if you could notice, but she's actually got her earpods in. So she can only hear what's in her ears. This film presents itself as a horror, and so I'm just going to lean into that with the score as well. And so because it involves a couple of jump scares later on, I thought it'd be interesting to see a little perspective shift. So yes, she's got her earpods in and she can only hear that, but what if the glass that we're seeing her through, like kind of here, because the camera is through the glass of the shop, wouldn't it be cool to see what's the perspective of the person who's watching her? So maybe they can hear these sound effects and whatever. So anyway, I'll show you what I've added on top so far, just as a little bit of sound design, just some foley, just to see how it might sound. So here it is.
That concludes another spine-tingling episode of Cult Curiosities.
Thank you for joining us on this haunting journey through the world of cults and their secrets.
Stay vigilant, listeners. The line between belief and obsession is often a treacherous one.
And remember, sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that hide in plain sight.
So there we go. And what I've done there is just added in like those little bits of glasses and clinks and things that will hopefully add to the atmosphere and make just because I'm going to have music there as well, and I want it to feel full, because I'm taking a slightly different direction than the original composition and sound design. I also added in this bit here, this sharp kind of sweep.
Sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that hide in plain sight.
And it feels like when someone's hiding in plain sight, it's like that gaze, because the camera kind of goes out of focus there. And wouldn't that be cool if that's maybe the spectators, the one whoever's keeping an eye on her, and they're the ones that have got that perspective. So that's why I've put that little bit in there, and that feels kind of eerie, and it's like it's just hinting towards something. And you'll see that we're now on that second marker, which is when it's a scene change, basically, is what it is. I also recorded my keys because that was awfully quiet before. And I just thought it would be cool to hear that a little more. I would take it down in the mix. Obviously, nothing is mixed. This is just me spitballing ideas. So yeah, put that in there, and also just some like keypad types as well. Just a tiny little detail that just made it feel more real to me, at least, as the viewer. Channels SFX 1, 2, and 3, they're just, I'm using those as like standard channels. I'm not doing much to them at the minute. As you can see, on 4, 5, and 6, they've each got their own respective pitch shift, which means that I have used the same sample for the cup down here in 2 different pitches. That's what they are, and that's why they're on separate channels. Otherwise, of course, I would keep them on the same, but as it's the exact same sound effect, then I want it to have a different quality because it's hitting a different material at a different time. It just gives it a different feel without having to re-record everything over and over again, because I have, limited stuff, limited space. And I think when you have limitations, you actually get more creative in what you make because you have to find a workaround if you don't have tons of stuff or space or resources or time even. And this one on the SFX3 is the untouched one. So that's the original there. We've also used that same thing, again, that technique of pitching something with the SFX4. That is the same as this, just pitched differently, -8 semitones down. Anyway, so the next hit point that comes along is the phone call, the interruption.
Hey dude, what's up?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Ah, you're so funny.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, I'll catch you at that party later tonight.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm on my way right now, actually. I was just calling to see if you're coming too. It's gonna be a good time.
Hang on. Wait, I think there's somebody in my car.
Okay, sure. Somebody's in your car.
Serious.
Wait, like for real? What do you mean someone's in your car? Don't you lock your doors?
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah. Hello? Look.
I hope your favorite scary movie Scream.
What the fuck are you doing here?
I need a ride to the party.
For the record, this is not how you ask for a ride.
It seems to be working so far.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ, who the fuck is that?
I don't know. Hang on. I think I saw this creep on Instagram.
Yeah? Here, maybe he'll give us a show. I mean, this is a prank, right? This is just crazy. This is actually... He's walking to here. Move the bike. Drive away, please. Drive away. Like, go away. Go away. Go away.
Right, so not the most threatening of villains, but you catch the drift of the film. So what can we do to make this go from somewhat comedic to actually terrifying? Well, what I would say is we blasted through all of those markers as we went. So the next point was when she sees the car. And it's just like someone's in the car, obviously. And then we have that zoom in there. Then obviously she finds out it's the guy. We've got another point there where the mask is revealed. And then finally where he's at the window. And then, so of course we've got a jump scare there. And then we go through that. Everything's calm for a second. Oh no, there's another whatever come up. So we've actually got 2 jump scares there. And I think that second one it could easily not be as impactful because of the first one that's just happened. So we're going to have to catch people off guard to make sure that both land, especially as they're so close to each other within like, what's that, within a minute of each other, and the film ending 10 bars after. Anyway, I heard this, it was this sound here. It's called a dribble, but I heard this.
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car.
And I thought, oh, that might work, you know, something like that. That just feels ominous. I was looking for something that goes down in pitch and something that has that eerie quality about it, something that makes you question what is happening, even if nothing's happening. And that's a lot of what horror is. It's the thought of it. It's what you don't see, because realistically, it's just a car. And yes, someone is in there. She's on the phone, but she's not in danger or anything. But it's the what if, what might happen if, and what when. And so, you know, curiosity kills the cat, and she goes closer. Obviously, it's her car and whatever. So I thought something that could, you know, make that tension there when there really wasn't any. Let's watch it side by side.
What do you mean someone's in your car? Don't you lock your doors?
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah.
Okay, the phone's cutting out there.
Fuck.
She's a little panicked, a little worried. Creepy mouse guy. Okay.
What do you mean someone's in your car? Don't you lock your doors?
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah. Oh. Fuck.
I think it makes sense to have that kind of reverse sound that I've got going there, and have the sound design, you know, go to nothing. Because if we do a big, you know, musical thing there, then it's going to detract from what we need to save ourselves for later when we get the second jump scare. Which is going to have all the intent, let's call it. So I started off with that. And what I have found is I've taken a synth here, and I've found a similar sound in actually a preset of Logic, which is great. And don't underestimate the presets. I mean, some of them are great in there. And sometimes I'm looking for a sound. I'm sure a lot of composers are the same, looking for a sound, and then you're like, actually, you know what? The Logic whatever is perfect for this. So let's see how close I've got this this to sound to this dribble reference.
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure.
I wanted it to feel more like it's got that boom to it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah.
And you can kind of hear that there might be like a ticking or a heartbeat.
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah. Oh. Fuck.
There is something of a pulse there. And then with these two here, I actually only had this build up on its own. But actually it needed something, because this one here, this dribble audio, it fell a bit short, and it didn't feel like there was enough room to have that other kind of crescendo into that. And it decays a bit quick. But pairing it with this one. I think that works. But what I found is this anthemic lead synth. And here is a bit of it.
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. So I've had a little tail on there as well because we are going to bounce it in place. So if I take that, we want 2 more of those. All right, I think we could have that a couple of times.
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah. Well,
I think that sounds all right. So we've established, which is good, that we're in fact in E. So, well, E-ish down to the D as well. On that descending path there. So we've got D and E. So E we can return to, and we can make that the theme. I think that fits quite nicely. I like that pitch. I like where it's at, and I like that we've matched a few things there. Next, I guess maybe we could just have a 1/5 of some strings. I think we've got the Hans Zimmer cellos here from Spitfire Audio, which I'm quite fond of. We could do some sopont quiet in here. Oh, that could be quite nice. Something very eerie about that. We're all falling out of tune with each other as well. It's lovely. That could work, you know? Something like that. I reckon that's not a bad starting point, to be fair. There's a couple of notes in there I would change, because there was a note, it might have been the G that I was playing. Sound a little too bright, a little too happy.
Hey, I'll catch you at that party later tonight.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm on my way right now, actually. I was just calling to see if you're coming too. It's gonna be a good time.
hang on. Wait, I think there's somebody in my car.
Okay, sure. Somebody's in your car.
I mean, would it be more effective to go to that?
Wait, like for real? What do you mean someone's in your car? Don't you lock your...
Wait, I think there's somebody in my car.
Okay, sure. Somebody's in your car.
Serious.
Wait, like for real? What do you mean someone's in your car? Don't you lock your doors?
Oh, I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah. Well,
Alright, that is unnecessary there. Alright, so to combat that fall, I think we need a rise. Let's find something that we can rise. Okay, there we've kind of got like that shepherd tone thing going, you know, ever falling. I think those two together. All right, let's record one of those, and we can record it, reverse it, and that's how we'll get our effect. Cool. So we got that. Let's bounce that in place, reverse that, and see how that sounds. Super creepy. All right, it's only subtle, but I think it's going to help. Awesome. Let's do some color coding. So these channels here, channels 10 to 16, are the ones that make up that main drone.
I'm serious. I am sure there is someone in my car.
Maybe we can call this the fear. And a little Command S every now and again doesn't hurt. So you gotta save the projects as you go, get that locked in your fingers.
Hope your favorite scary movie Scream.
I think we need something really, really light there though, after. Maybe a little bit of like a wind sound.
Oh, Jesus Christ, who the fuck is that?
I don't know. Hang on. I think I saw this creep on Instagram.
Oh, yeah? Here, maybe he'll give us a show. I mean, this is a prank, right? This is crazy. This is actually... He's walking to here, move the bike!
It's pretty dead. So, yeah, we've got to make this real scary. All right, that one there. So where that hit point is, that final one that I've marked there before the end of the scene, that's the big one. So we actually only see him twice. Once here, and then when he gets to the window, and that's it between there and the window. There's not 3 times like there was with the Scream mask. So much like we took the E, the pitch of E from the phone when the phone vibrated in her hand earlier in the scene, we can likewise take the G from the seatbelt sign from the car that sounded just now.
I mean, this is a prank, right? This is crazy. This is actually...
I think it could benefit from a tone and a half, but because of the way this wheel works here, let's see if we can achieve a tone and a half. I think what we need is a bit of a recall to this. Whack that light there. It's going to recall to that sound we heard earlier. That's why we've planted it, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ, who the fuck is...
All right, a bit earlier, I think. It's like she can sense it, you know?
Oh, Jesus Christ, who the fuck is that?
That's nice and creepy. Oh, I like that where I pitched it down. That could work. That's creepy, man. That's creepy. Let's go. Let's go for it. Oh, that might even be nice as an ending. Because that jump scare...
He's walking to here, move the bike!
If it filled up the whole screen, it would have been better. But we're going to do the best with what we got. Or I think this can rise and fall a little bit. All right, so we need a big hit there, I think. That might work. I think that should all come in one then.
Move the bike!
Oh, we do need a heartbeat of some sort. But yeah, it needs to be a dum 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 dum. All right. Let's see how that blends. I think we need something tighter, less reverberant, and something that more resembles a heartbeat. All right, let's try tam-tams. And these sound like the end of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Super creepy, dissonant, clashing. We could have like a bunch of really horrendously out of tune brass as well. Really clashing. Some horrible horns. No, these are too nice. Do you know what? Thinking about it, maybe now the anthemic lead might work. So I've actually taken the both the fear, that sharp sweep there, and I've put it that it kind of like leaks into the credits there. And I've also brought back the bowed metal when, you know, when we took it, when we see the actual killer the second time. And that appears when the killer's credit has been displayed on screen. And I've also taken that reverse shepherd tone from the effects of the strings that we used earlier and just copied and pasted that. Maybe we could have that zoom out into nothing. Now, I'm pretty happy with how it goes from the beginning with having no music, with a little bit of sound design that I made, all the way into probably marker 7. I can hear like a clack. All right, it's one of those. Let's hear it. Even that could just do the trick, you know. Oh, maybe we could get a horn to go boom as well. Let's try. Well, actually, sorry, let's unmute these first. See how that sounds with those. All right, they need to be much lower then. In the mix, let's take that back to 0 as well. All right, so I think it would make sense if one was panned hard right and the other is panned hard left. All right, this is too long. I feel like there's too many beats in here. I still want it to sound like the end of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts. Terrifying sounding, that is. Let's find a different horn. It sounds like The Incredibles. All right, let's try that. All right, if we detune those, clashing notes only. Feels like we need something with another pulse. think if we took that and made it really distorted. This feels empty here a little between 87 and 90. It's the lack of horns. Should we put some more horns in there? Or it feels like these horns could also do with being a bit distorted. How does this sound? No. Oh, they're so horrible. It's perfect. Would they be more aggressively distorted, do you think? I think I might, you know. Cool. What else I'm noticing is that car, when it comes off of the parking lot there, we need to hear some like tire screech or something there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put in some tire squeal or some sort of like brake sound, like brake pads of a car. I'll do that after though. Feels like we need something else going whoop, 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 in this part here between 87 and 90. Cool. I'm keeping that. Do you know what? Another saw might work, you know. Do you know what? Instead, I'm going to go a different direction. Let's try some short stabs. Let's try on some bases. Ah, we need some Bartoks. That's what we need. Yeah, man. Oh, here we go.
He's walking to here. Move the bike.
Awesome. So let's just sync those up with everything just to make sure. Now this waving in. I reckon we can have that again somewhere over here. All right, so leading up to that. Do you know what? That could even work. Can come over just a touch. All right, we're going to do something like that. All right, so around there, I think is where I want it to come in. So let's aim for bar 92. I think we need something that's like a glitch or a kind of error when the screen just like goes dark. I think that could work in there. You know what? I think I can take one of these, copy that, paste it there. If I reverse that, let's hear that on its own for a sec. That might. Grab that. Do a bit of pasting here. All right, so that needs to be around there. This needs to fall within the end of this. Let's make a bip of that about there. That'll do, you know. That will do. I think we've got an ending there. I reckon with a good bit of mixing, leveling some stuff out, I think we'll be in a pretty decent spot. First of all, some notes to self. These horns, I think they've got to drag on a little longer. They need more attack. Should we put a compressor on the both of them? I think we need them to be even more overdriven. Feels like they need like some sort of bit crusher on them or something like that. Should we put some actual pedal distortion on them? The other thing that stood out to me, all right, phone clicks, I want them louder. We're going to automate some volumes. Now this sharp sweep here, that is the killer noise, right? That's what we see it, that the fear 3 times. 3 is the magic number. All right, so this one in particular needs to be louder than the rest just to cut through.
And remember, sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that hide in plain sight.
And that's good there, because when he says hiding in plain sight, this part here is literally hidden in plain sight because it sounds like it blends in with those Super Soul Pont strings. Okay, so I mean, it's great that we've done it in 3 there. Odd numbers are the way to go. I think here, same again, we can, for both of these, bring it down just a touch, just so the dialogue can come through. So this bit here is where it's going to be loudest, and that's where the drone's going to come in. And until then, I think we should make this section go a little lower. One other thing is, on that car, when it pulls away, there needs to be some sound design there, because it feels like it's lacking a bit, because obviously we don't have any sound design there. So what I've found is just a group of sounds and stuff. They're all to do with the car, basically. There was actually one other that I found which I thought would be good to put on the phone at some point.
What the fuck are you doing here?
Already sounds better.
What the fuck are you doing?
That looks like that's when the door closes, when the light shuts, that's when the...
What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, that's spot on, I would say. Alright, that definitely needs to be in there when they're like first coming out of that turning, skidding. We should also hear like a clatter of like the insides of the car rattling. Nope, don't even like the sound of that. That's a good one. Yeah, that's better. Alright, now we need just something that feels like something like jangly that would be in a car. Maybe something like that. So let's put it on its own channel. And then let's do some weird stuff. It could maybe even be a little more subtle. Do you know what, folks? I think I'll probably leave it there. I think what's next with this is probably listen to it through monitors, not just headphones, and also to listen to the score without watching and seeing, just by listening, does it work? Does it give the audible version of what you would have seen on screen? Do you know what I mean? So that's just something you could try. That's what I always do, and I do the same whether it's composing a score or if I'm rehearsing for a gig or whatever. I'm like, does this work if you're just to hear it as if you would on a record, you know, like maybe you would if you stick a record on and just have a listening sesh to yourself, eyes closed. You know, it changes everything because your eyes are an extra input for you to decode and whatever. But yeah, if something works audibly, then great. And likewise in filmmaking, I would also say if something works without sound, so if a film works without sound, then it's probably also going to work. I've tried a few new things, actually. I've gone in to the automation of these tracks here of the sound effects, and I've just adjusted by a few dB just to see what feels best, not just what looks best on screen, because that can be kind of deceiving if you're mixing or mastering with your eyes, because obviously what counts in the end is, does it sound good? I brought down some of the levels of the strings, the super pont strings, and the chord of those strings I had as well, just to make sure that the dialogue still stands out and isn't overcrowded or anything like that. There's a bit just further down where I think it is around marker 5, where we start to see that her phone connection is like starting to, well, not work and kind of dissipate a bit and break up. And so at that point where she can't hear, I thought it might make sense for the music to be, you know, a little overpowering, in fact. So maybe we can't like hear her perfectly well, but that was an intentional thing there. But you'll hear it when we go through. The rest of it kind of plays out nice and is audible, but there's parts of it where she's kind of like shouting for Noah, but she can't hear him properly and we can't hear her properly, and it just feels like it matches what is going on in the scene. Yes, what else have I done? So where this car comes around out of the car park there and round the bend, I've made sure we've got here a nice kind of tire screech squeal, because there is a little bit of lift in the film here where there's some like some smoke there off the wheel. I don't know if you can quite see it, but yeah, only just, but there's enough where I feel like a tire squeal was warranted. What else do we have? Oh yes, on the sound effects at the end, so I ended up actually chopping that sample into 2 pieces. So these two here, when they're combined, they sound like this. And everything feels like it just goes to nothing. So that was the aim there. I think that works well, especially when you hear it in the context of everything else, and you've got that kind of, it's very light, but there's still, I guess, a crescendo of notes and waves and drones and that sort of stuff. And it feels like they wrap it up real nice, and it feels like kind of the plug's been pulled. So that's pretty much what I've done in total there for the sound effects. The majority of everything else I've left fairly the same. As we see a little bit earlier on, I actually did put some buses together, which have there, you can see the overdrive, some compression, and I've actually got the guitar pedals on the horns there to make them sound really distorted and pretty kind of nasty. So to summarize this session, we started off and we watched through the film, and we said, like, right, where are the hit points? So we've hit each and every one of those. And because it's a film, there's no like predetermined tempo or beats per minute or whatever it is. So you just have to kind of be reactive. And if you can find a pulse, then great. I have found a pulse in this, and I think it actually works pretty well. And that it adds to the film, and it adds to that drama of what's going on and that unknown, and hopefully gives that real feel of a thriller. And I think a good score can take a film to the next level by bringing it into the genre that the director intended, and making that feeling of that extra character, or providing the emotion that drives the visuals. And so with what is essentially a horror like this, a lot of the character is in the score. And it's a funny one, and I might have said before, I'm not sure, but I think the difference between a comedy and a horror is the score. Because if you put some comedic sounding music over this, it would be silly and whatever. But if you take, a comedic film and you put some horror music over it, all of a sudden it becomes twisted and dark. And so, yeah, they're very, I would say they're two sides of the same coin, and it is the score that dictates what's going to be what. So now we're all just about up to speed on everything I've done so far. This is going to be the final version of the project. So I think let's watch everything through from start to finish, all the score, all the visuals, and let's see what we think.
That concludes another spine-tingling episode of Cult Curiosities.
Thank you for joining us on this haunting journey through the world of cults and their secrets.
Stay vigilant, listeners. The line between belief and obsession is often a treacherous one.
And remember, sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that hide in plain sight.
Hey dude, what's up?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Ah, you're so funny.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, I'll catch you at that party later tonight.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm on my way right now, actually. I was just calling to see if you're coming too. It's gonna be a good time.
Hang on. Wait, I think there's somebody in my car.
Okay, sure. Somebody's in your car.
Serious.
Wait, like for real? What do you mean someone's in your car? Don't you lock your doors?
Serious. I am sure there is someone in my car. Noah. No.
I hope your favorite scary movie Scream.
What the fuck are you doing here?
I need a ride to the party.
For the record, this is not how you ask for a ride.
It seems to be working so far.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ, who the fuck is that?
I don't know. Hang on. I think I saw this creep on Instagram.
Yeah? Here, maybe he'll give us a show. I mean, this is a prank, right? This is crazy. This is actually... He's walking to here. Move the bike! Drive away, please! Like, go away! Go away! Go away!
So that's the film. I think it works really well, actually, and I'm happy with it. I hope the director's happy with it. So this film is actually part of the Indie Film Music Contest. So that means that not only me, but a whole bunch of other composers that have applied will get the same opportunity to rescore this film. And I can't wait to see what everyone else has come up with. Regardless of the results of the film contest, I've had a blast making this, and I feel that the score and the film go really well together, and I can't wait to get started onto the next project. Anyway, until then, thank you so much for watching the creation of my rescore of Closing Time.